Hello, hello, hello,
Hi,
everybody.
everyone.
Oh,
Was that you or me?
that was me. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That
man.
is so annoying. I'm so sorry, y'all. Okay, so, Woo. Okay. I just wanted to check the playback to make sure that we are live and showing up on YouTube, and we are. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to
Black
our first.
fashion.
What?
I said in true Black Prose fashion, computer difficulties.
Yes, it's so crazy because I almost feel like everything always really goes perfectly fine up until literally 5 minutes before we're supposed to go live,
Yep, that's exactly what
and
happened this time.
all hell breaks loose. But we are here to talk about We Are the Dying Gods by C.M. Lockhart. We're technically discussing chapters 1 through 6. Brittany is the only person who has done her due diligence and has read
Basically,
all the way through where she's
yeah.
supposed to be. I am on page 67 specifically, and I remember that because when I got to page 67 and I had a moment before I fell asleep.
Wait, what's page? Let me go look at what page 67 is because I just need you to be at the point enough for me to talk about something.
Oh, I might not be, but page 67 is basically where Brandy has her emotional breakdown. Well, it's more than an
Oh,
emotional breakdown. She also
yeah.
had a physical breakdown as well. And, um, she and Freya had a conversation in the god realm,
with
and
as what is his name, Azim, something like
no,
that.
no.
Okay, wait, 67. I'm literally turning to it now because I'm like, I need to remember how much.
Yeah, this is when she was basically asking Freya for help, and she was just like, "Sorry, girl, I can't do nothing for you." But,
Oh,
we're
you
we're
stopped reading at the part where my jaw was like, wait, what?
see, that makes me feel even worse because I fell asleep, and then I just haven't had a chance to pick it back up since
Yeah.
then. And I plan on finishing out the rest of the book actually this weekend so that I could be, more than ahead of the game.
Okay, so I guess my next question is
Yes,
like, do you mind being spoiled? Because I
you
have
have things.
I have lots of things to say.
Oh, I don't mind at all.
Okay, that's wonderful. So
Brittany said, regardless, you will be
I,
spoiled.
I was
Sorry.
just making sure that, you know, you
Brittany said
didn't.
you did not show up prepared, so it is
I
what it is.
know it's because you literally stopped the page before the shit hit the fan.
That is so annoying on every
like, like, I kid you not, the very next page, it's like, wait, what the fuck?
Okay, well, this is gonna be an interesting discussion, but let's rewind. Let us back up a bit and let us first do a recap of book, I guess, 1, and
Okay.
then um we will start with where book 2 starts off. So, Brittany, recap of book 1,
Um, I
roughly. Well,
oh
not
wait.
like a full recap, but essentially where we left off in book 1 was the battle scene.
Okay, yeah. First of all, we need to state this discussion will have spoilers
So
because
many.
it's the only way that I can process what I read because I wrote down lots of notes in my reading planner. Um, also, Ben said you might just want to read that page now.
I know, I just saw that and I'm like, "Damn."
I'm like,
I'm
that's
like,
funny.
"Oh my god."
I kid you not. So, if you guys forgot, in the last book, the final scene of the last book was that everyone had made it to Freya's temple, and Freya and the other guys had relinquished their powers to Brandy, Jack, and the crew. And
Yeah,
so, after that, the gods disappear, and what's left is there's this big ass battle still happening in the background. And that's
Mhm.
literally where book one ended and where book two begins. There is no
Yes,
space between the
none.
two. It's literally like you could end book one and pick up book two and you missed nothing in between. There's no need for a recap. There's no need for any of that because there is no time between the two books, which I
Not
actually would
not at all.
like. Yeah,
And so if you've recently read book 1, this is the perfect time to pick up book 2 if you have not already. Also, if you have not already, you should not be watching this.
well, I mean, if you're one of those people that don't care if you're spoiled, that's fine too.
You wanna put a bookmark in this and come back when you have read up until chapter 6. But, if you have read up until chapter 6, because for me, I hadn't reread book 1, which I have a little bit of regret about. Um, I might I reread the last chapter just to kinda jog my mind, and
Right.
things are slowly coming back to me, like, plot points and things are slowly coming back to me, and I'm like, "Okay, okay, okay." But I'm so jealous of Troy listening to the audiobook. The jealousy is strong. Um, and I kinda wish I had reread book 1, like, last month to have things more fresh. But
Yeah.
let's go ahead and jump right in because this is gonna be, we're gonna allot about 40 minutes for this discussion. I don't wanna
Yeah.
keep it all too long, but we definitely have some things to get into. So boom, bada boom. Let's jump in. So we're in the battle scene, and things are not looking good for the rebels. Off
Yeah. Kind of getting they're kind of getting slaughtered at this point. Because remember, like everybody that really had powers were with Brandy. So
Yes.
they've all kind of come basically imagine it like coming out of like the God realm essentially. And they're like, holy crap, everything's happening. Of
Mhm.
course, Brandy is like hyper focused on Bert,
Yes.
which I don't blame her, but like that was also the scene where like there was a bar dropped where it was like, I want to kick Bert's face in to where he has nightmares of my boot.
Oh, yeah, that was intense.
And I was like, I want to say something vicious like that to somebody.
I'm done. Yeah,
I don't know
she was
if I would need that,
very,
but yeah.
very laser focused on Bert. But unfortunately, well, she called upon the power within her to really help out the rebels, like, to turn the tide in the
Yes,
rebels' favor, but it's more like to turn the tide in their favor enough
to get
so that
there.
the Queen's army would be scared and retreat, and they could save who was left because they had taken a lot of losses.
Yes, like she made a strategic decision, not a like, would I have loved for her to get revenge right then and there? Yes, but then like we wouldn't have a book. So I
Also, side note,
didn't
can we
like that
talk
part.
about how Sarah was just throwing up?
Bro, do not get me started. So you know how wait, you have the physical book or the
What is
ebook?
wrong with her?
No, so like at the beginning of the book, if you open it, it's like out of context comments for We Are the Dying Gods. And there's one person that says, I'd give Sarah a hug, but she's all vomity. And then
I saw
literally
that.
like 8 minutes later, the same person tweets and says, I rescind my offer. First of
Right.
all, I can't stand Sarah. I
You
already
really
didn't like
look,
Sarah in the first book, but I was
look,
like, let me get this straight. You ain't
I'm
got no like you are so useless. Like you are in war, girl. Suck it up.
I'm
Like
trying very, 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 very hard to have some type of liking for this character. I mean, last book I was like, "You know what? I see, I try to see it from her perspective. I try to put myself in her shoes." I was like, "Okay, I get it. Like, she's not a fighting girly. Like, okay, I understand." But Sarah is just extremely self-absorbed. Like, extremely. Like, every situation she's in, she makes it about herself. And that is very hard to like that type of character. Okay, it looks like Brittany got kicked out. She's still having technical difficulties, so we're gonna wait for her to come back. But I'm gonna continue my Sarah rant. Sarah is very self-absorbed, and it makes it very hard to like her as a character. I understand why she's necessary for she's like a foil, right? And she's necessary for certain levels of character development for the other characters around her, and she adds an interesting element. And one could even say, it's fun to dislike her character in a weird way. But her character drives me off up the wall so much. The fact that they're in this like life and death struggle and battle, and she's throwing up. Like, girl, are you not embarrassed? Like, my friend, like, that's like something that you like choke that shit down. There's people dying, and you have nothing to contribute as of yet. Like, you can't fight, like, you're scared. So what do? You just throw up, like, unashamedly. Just sorry, y'all, my notifications are going off. But it just, oh my gosh, it just drove me insane. And then to make matters even worse, and to be fair, Cedric was with her and he was also kind of shook to his core and he didn't really know what else to do either. And then Brandy had to come in and say, "Hey, why don't you two run off, go that way to safety?" I mean, if you can't fight and you're on the sidelines of a battlefield and all this scary stuff is happening, wouldn't your self-preservation kick in? If you know there's nothing you can contribute, wouldn't your self-preservation kick in and drive you to escape, like find a means of escape? Someone else has to come and tell you to escape. That part had me. I was like, this is crazy. This is actually insane and very embarrassing for both of them, both Sarah and Cedric. So that was my little side note, and I'm sad that Brittany missed my entire rant because her character just becomes. Oh, hold on one second. Let me see if I can get Brittany back in here. Hey,
All,
girly.
all my devices hate me today.
I'm so sorry. You know
I
what?
just shut off.
We will talk a little bit about your day at the end, but I was like, I'm so sad Brittany is missing my Sarah rant because
No, no, no,
essentially.
no, no. Luckily for you, it was on my computer, so I just turned the sound on my computer, so I heard it all.
Oh, okay, good. But okay, don't like okay, so she's throwing up on the sidelines. Cedric or whatever his name is, I think his name's Cedric, is with her,
Yeah, the scholar.
the scholar, and he's also useless. But I mean, at least he's like, actually no, they're both on equal levels of just
I think, yeah, to be honest, because like even Najee was out there by herself throwing hands.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Najee.
And
She
yeah,
pissed
we
me off.
have to because woo. But then like Noble and Jack,
Yes,
obviously the ride or dies, they're
yes,
out there. And the whole time you're like, where is Sarah? Vomiting.
vomiting. And I
Vomiting.
was just saying that like there's no shame in her vomit. Like, there's no shame in her
No.
either. Like, I would be ashamed. I would be swallowing that shit down and trying to figure out what I could do. And then I said, if I came to the conclusion that there was nothing I could do, I would get my ass out of there.
You know, Ash writes lots actually makes a good point. They say normally fight or flight are the go-to responses, but freeze is just as normal.
Mm,
So
that
I
is
guess like we can say like they were in a state of shock and frozen. And I also don't think that not don't think those two are the only two that are not battle ready. Like
they're not.
everybody else is used to it.
That's true. That's very true.
So I'm gonna try my hardest to just be like, you know what? That's fair. That's totally fair.
But you know what's not fair?
What?
What's not fair is that when Brandy finally manages to turn the tides with the flaming arrows that drive off the rest of the Queen's army, Jack is like, "Hey, don't kill Bert right now. This is not the time. We are not prepared to face down the whole freaking queendom." And they retreat to that clearing, and they make a
Oh my
deal with
God. Faders.
the faders to like not eat them. This is what's not fair. Sarah is having a pity party for herself and lusting after Noble when people are like dying. And she has you have one job.
Oh my gosh. See
You have
that
one
part, I was
power.
like, because she even was like, well, why didn't anybody come get me? And I'm just like, sis, you saw the way these people were walking into camp. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, Sarah is like the lost princess. Yeah, Sarah has the power of healing. Yes, Sarah was chosen by Asari, but
She's very
she
self-absorbed
ain't
because
stepped up for nothing yet. I was
but
like,
that's what I'm saying, like, she is so obsessed with herself, like, people are literally dying. You hear the cries and groans of people dying literally around you, and you're like, "Oh my god, like, I think, like, everyone hates me, like, oh my
I mean,
goodness."
she had enough energy to stand her little tail up and eavesdrop, but not enough to go help people.
And then she's looking at Noble being like, "Oh my god, he's so cute." Like, "What?
Also, I was
Ma'am!"
like, imagine, because you remember in the last book, like, imagine randomly having a bar scene with a guy, and then what? I forgot how long, like, what the time frame is between the bar scene and the temple scene. I think it's only days.
Yeah, it's a couple days, I believe.
Yeah, so it's like, like,
I just
um,
can't.
imagine like going from that noble to the noble on like basically being like, you're being useless, like right now, get it together.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, also another thing is like, all of them realized they were given powers by the gods,
Yes.
but then like the way that each and every one of them are like shocked at like the power that they
That is
got
very
from the gods, I
interesting.
was like,
You know what it is? I saw it as, like, a delayed reaction because that whole scene in the god realm when they were being transferred those powers, that scene was never processed. They went straight from that to battle.
that is true. So it
They
was
never
like
had
they
a
really had a
moment.
moment.
They never had a moment to discuss. They didn't even get to discuss it among themselves and be like, "Did this really happen?" It was literally like, "This is happening," and then end scene, and then boom, right in the middle of a battle, like a battle is starting, and there's no time to really process the fact that y'all are essentially the gods now, and the gods are like, "Y'all got it. We out.
Boy,
Good luck
you know
good
what?
luck with that
Because you
time
haven't
hand."
read past page 67, you really do not know how much that line is just infuriating.
Oh, no.
Like, woo!
I know, it's so funny because when Ben was like, "You might wanna read it now," I kinda started skimming it, and I was like, "Wait a minute, maybe I can catch, like, some bullet
You
points."
know what?
Meanwhile
I
yeah,
will happily talk about the Brandy and Najee scene while you quickly read that if you want, because I just need you to understand the majority of our discussion is going to be on those pages.
okay. I'm
So,
reading them.
yeah. But so after they finally get to the battle or I'm gonna call it the grounds for healing, and Sarah finally decides to heal. I find it funny that like all of them had moment. Well, the ones that we've actually heard from so far, all of them had a moment where they were like talking to the gods and praying to the gods, waiting for responses from the gods, and then getting none. And Sarah's response to not hearing from Asari was to like, do you want me to pray to Rose instead? I was like, Sarah, please. Sarah, please. Like, these little boys are dying. You ought not insult the God that would give you the healing powers to save them while trying to save them. But again, I also know that I have a very serious bias towards Sarah. I'm really, really hoping that as I read this book, that my disdain for Sarah drops down, because it's gotten to the point where every time she has a scene, I'm just rolling my eyes like, Sarah, just be better, please. Please just be better, like for all of us. But nothing is worse than her scene with Najee, because they were supposed to be friends. And the fact that old girl was more than ready and willing to give up Jack, and then was bold enough to stand in front of Brandy's face and be like, I had to for the rebellion. I was like, we've seen the phrase send you to the gods a couple of times in the book by now, but in that particular scene, I was like, the fact that Brandy did not strangle her with her bare hands just because we already understand the dynamic that her and Jack have, the fact that she was still able to live and actually have the argument with Brandy, I was like, Brandy's really thinking about bigger picture things here, because if she was acting just on her own personal feelings for the fact that Jack almost died because of what that girl did to him, I was like, before she got the god powers, I think Brandy would have killed her. Um, that's my honest thoughts. I feel like she was saved. I don't know what else she's gonna have in the book. I don't know what other scenes she's gonna have in the book, because I don't know if she's gonna be dumb enough to stay around or if she's gonna go back with the rebels. I'm not sure yet. But all I could think of when they were having this argument was like, it's already been established that like Brandy is that girl. And I know that everybody else can stand toe to toe to her most of the time, but I can see her rage overpowering Najee and taking her clean out. So, but also, yeah, that's right. Brandy did almost let a shader eat her at the end of the last book. And honestly, I was expecting a shader to finish off Najee in this argument, but then Jack came through and knocked that girl out. I was like, Jack is bae. But the fact that Jack did not ask any questions, Jack heard the screams and just ran up and automatically assumed Najee and just went, just immediately hits her. I felt like he was hitting her for Brandy, but he was also hitting her for himself. Like that was revenge. That was like, we can figure out what's going on in a second, but what you did to me, I'm gonna hit you regardless. That's my thoughts anyway. I'm just, if you're in the chat, I would like to know, how did you feel about this argument scene?
How much further do I need to read? So the time dude interrupts. Do I need to keep going?
Listen, I can give you a recap of the time dudes conversation, and you can just read it later, because
That sounds like a plan.
It's still one of those moments where, as you're reading, because the God speech is bolder than the regular speech.
Yes, this is the Zine dude, right?
Yes. So
yeah.
Azine is, I think we're saying his name right. Azine is who we thought was the antagonist of the story. And so he comes in. So after everything with Najee, Brandy ends up, of course, going off with Jack and her shaders. And she wakes up where she thinks she's in the realm of Roth, but she ends up being there with Freya, where she learns that she's actually in the God realm.
Yes, she is.
And Brandy is understandably overwhelmed and understandably just confused on everything that just happened. Because, like Oshley said, there was no time to actually process what happened.
Yeah.
It's more like, it happened, now this happened, now this happened. And the fact that she was begging Freya for some answers, and Freya was like, there's nothing I can do to help you. Like, this is all on you. I'm sorry, I don't have other things to help you with. And then Azine comes in like, do you really?
Well, I thought it was interesting because I feel like the gods kind of broke down their godliness when they were like, so we don't know everything. We're not omnipresent. We can't like be everywhere at once. We don't know everything's going on. And yeah. And then Freya was kind of like, I mean, not Freya, Brandy was kind of like, I'm kind of starting to doubt you guys.
Listen.
Okay. On, but
are you breathing? Are you sitting down? So I need you to be sitting down for this. So this is obviously a major spoiler for chapter.
Are you talking about Zuriel?
Yes.
I'm skimming. I see Zuriel. Well, I see where Azine comes in and is like, I'm not the bad guy. Then I skip ahead.
Yeah.
Then
I'm about to give spoilers for chapter 5. Chapter 5 and chapter 6. So when Azine comes into the God realm, of course, Freya's mad that he's there. But we're thinking she's mad because, he's been painted as this enemy. But what she's mad about is that Azine is like, I'm not leaving here until Brandy knows the truth. So either you tell her or I'm going to tell her.
Oh, wait, I'm at that. Tell her I will. We've been over this, Freya.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Do you know
Oh.
what he needs? Do you know what she needs to tell?
No, I'm reading. I'm reading. Um, no, just tell me.
Freya seduced the original time person that was over the realm.
Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm,
And that's why Azine is there.
mm, 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 mm,
So
mm.
the previous time, what is it? Time person? I can't remember the name of
Wait
it.
a freaking minute.
Did you see the
Who was the child? That would be you,
Uh-huh.
Azine said,
Uh-huh.
pointing to Brandy.
Welcome. And
No, Brandy whispered. Oh, motherfucking no. What the hell is going on?
okay, breathe. I'm giving you a short recap.
For real? What have you done, girl?
So basically, Freya meets the original time being Zarel,
Stop.
right? And he came to the realm to start time. So in the beginning of the realm when they started, Freya was just chilling up in her little place while her boos were out, getting their parts of the land together. And a door appeared, which was very Kingdom Hearts-esque. I just want to point that out. It was
Yeah.
like a wooden door appeared. I'm like, this is giving Kingdom Hearts vibes, but whatever. Um, and he comes out and he's basically like, I'm here to start time. I'm a time being. I work for the glaciers, who are like the overseers of the universe. And she's like, oh, well, tell me about time. And he's like, oh, I don't think you'll understand it. Meanwhile, the glaciers had already told Zarel, like, listen, when you go to this realm, be ready, because if you don't, this realm will be your downfall.
Ooh.
Already told him this, but Homeboy
Ooh.
still went in there and was completely like enamored by Freya. And of course,
Mm,
Freya turned on that good,
mm, mm,
and then
mm.
was like, you don't have to start. Like, he explained time to her. He explained who the glaciers were and everything. And oh, Galaxiers, sorry.
I was about to say, I think it's Galaxiers.
Yeah, explain who the Galaxiers were and everything, right? And she's like, you don't have to do any of that. And he's like, what do you mean? She's like, you can just stay with me and be one of my gods. Because, clearly Freya got that good. Because he was really considering being like he's like, would your other ones mind if I was the fifth? And I'm
Right?
like, how do you go from being a
He got a
time
whole
being
harem.
like, yeah, you're a time being. You do not exist within time, before time, or after time. But you are ready to give all of that up to be Freya's fifth
Mm,
bae?
mm, mm,
Freya
mm, mm.
has demonic poon poon.
She has a hold on these beings, dude. These males, she has a hold.
Listen, demonic.
It's
So he
scary.
tells her he can't do that. He still has a job that he has to do. He's gonna get in trouble if he doesn't do it. And you know how Freya has like personality where she goes from being super nice to like mad crazy. Like she has those two
Yes.
sides.
Side note, I'm reading ahead. Why is Azine flirting with Brandy? Continue. Hmm? Brittany? Oh no. Just when we were getting to the good part, we lost Brittany. Brittany. Okay, looks like we lost Brittany. Hopefully she comes back. I think she's having some sound issues. Oh my goodness. We're having some tech issues today. 1 second. Let me see if I can get her back in here. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so she'll be back in a second. Sorry about that, because things are definitely getting good. But I'm trying to skim ahead, and I see some things. But I do want to go back a little bit while we wait on Brittany to come and finish the recap. I do want to backtrack and give my little 2 cents on Najee, because that whole entire part pissed me off. Ooh, Brittany's back. Hey,
I have the worst.
your tech issues are on another level. It's
I
almost
mean,
like demonic. I'm just saying. Oh, there she goes. Okay, so until we get her back fully, I'm gonna continue on my rant. So Najee really that part really angered me because I know Brittany's already given her side. But how dare you betray me? We're supposed to be best friends. Okay, we've been rocking since we were kids. We've had each other's back. We've been through all this stuff together. And you go behind my back and stab me in the back and betray me and literally give up the one person that I consider to be my soulmate, that is the love of my life. You give this person up to the enemy to be harmed and killed. And you think we're going to be okay? You think that you can just apologize and we're going to be good? You think that we are ever in your life going to be okay again? The level of delusional. She was delulu thinking that she could betray her bestie that she's been rocking with since they were kids, been through hell and back with somebody who, like,
No, that was her ride or die person. That was
I
the
mean,
one person that she told everything and everything.
Brandy was probably like, this person would never, you know what, how you have a list in your mind of people that would never betray you?
Right.
You just know in your soul that they never would. And when one of them does, it's literally like you can't even comprehend.
Plus, the reason that she did it was just like, that's it.
I mean, Brandy nailed it when she was like, you're loyal to no one but
Yeah.
yourself. You only care about yourself.
And Sal.
And you don't make choices. You just survive. I was like, ooh,
Bars.
but Najee still had the audacity to be like, but like, can you read the Rebels? Because like, I have to go
Oh,
back.
yeah. She was like, you could
Excuse
leave the
me,
rebels.
ma'am, ma'am, ma'am. How delusional. I'm so sorry. I am one of those people that like doesn't believe in violence against women and stuff. But when Jack smacked the shit out of her, a piece of my soul
Listen,
settled into
that's what I
place.
said. I was like, I felt
And
like
all
that
is right in the
slap
world.
was personal. Also, he's got power. He's been emboldened as well. So I know that hurt.
I was like, you know what?
I
I'm
actually
not gonna.
imagined like an anime-esque hit when he hit her.
I was seeing like, you know, like in those cartoons when the little birds are spinning around their head and they're all dizzy. That's what I saw. I was like, you know, this is very satisfying. And I'm not gonna lie, I may have reread that part a few times.
I found that scene very satisfying.
Oh, extremely.
Um,
Okay, now that we've backtracked, I was trying to tell him my 2
I
cents
know because my
while we
computer,
waited for you.
all of my technology is being hater today. I have
I was like,
switched
is
to
it a
three
full
different
moon tonight? What's
I
going on?
switched to 3 different devices during this conversation.
Oh man.
Where did I
But yeah,
stop? Where
the
was the last part you
audacity.
heard?
The last part I heard was you basically saying that um nobody needs the powers that Freya has between her legs because that's just not
Oh, yeah, no. I was
for
like,
anyone.
I don't know what type of goddess. Like, Goddess Poon Poon is clearly something on a different level because she had that man like ready to like,
Risk it all.
he had already risked it all when he had it.
That's true.
But he was like, basically, like, I still have time left. Like, I don't have to leave right now. And she was like, well, you don't ever have to leave. But when he was still like, I still have to do my job, I still have to give this realm time, she got mad at him and was basically like, well, just go.
Mm,
And
mm,
he's like,
mm.
well, what are you going to do about the baby? And I was like, the baby?
The baby.
Because, he can see time. So he knows
Yes.
that she's pregnant. And I'm like when as I was reading this part, I was like, wait, what you mean? Wait, oh my God. Oh, wait, they slept together? Like,
That's a mess. And not Freya knowing the truth all this time and trying to hide her
girl,
dirt.
it gets
Like,
so much
girl,
worse.
you didn't think this was gonna come back to bite you?
No, she didn't.
She didn't think the
Because
truth was gonna come out?
apparently, because the baby was half goddess and half time being,
Oh
she
my
was
god.
able to distort the time of her pregnancy to where she could give birth at the time that she wanted to give birth.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right. So after I cannot pronounce that man's name. After Zariel,
I thought his name was like
um, there we
Zareel.
go. I'm gonna call him Z for right now. After Z went back and got in trouble, when he learned of the fate of the realm, because the Galaxiers, they were like, oh yeah, we don't need this realm, we good. Ooh! He went back and told Freya what was happening. And so that was the person that, like, remember how in the first book it was like, yeah, we were told of a time being that was going to be coming,
Mhm.
and that was Z telling them about Azine or
Okay.
whatever his name is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
But
see.
then it also, because he got Z got sent to the, I guess it's called the end of the earth, basically essentially a place that does not exist outside of anything.
Time prison.
Yeah, basically a time prison,
They
essentially.
locked him up. They said, "Look, you doing too much. Jail for you."
Yeah.
Jail.
Oh, also apparently because he can see the future, he knew he was gonna get played and still Listen, Freya has
I
some
don't know.
ridiculous poem to see in the future and know that you are going to get played.
Freya's pissing me off now.
Oh, girl, it's so much worse.
Oh,
So,
no. Okay, let's just stop. My head's about to explode.
well,
Imma
I
read
feel
the
like
rest.
that's kind of how Brandy felt as well, because remember, the same way that it's being revealed to us that Freya was out here just scheming and plotting with Poom Poom power.
Not with poo poo.
We're being
I'm gonna
revealed
use
the
that in
same
my
way that
real
we're
life.
being revealed and we're shook, so is Brandy.
Let's table this for our next book discussion next week because I don't wanna be spoiled any further. My mind is literally spinning out of like, if you could see my brain right now, there's just a little Ursula running around like,
So imagine the fact that because you have to read 5 and 6 is nothing but like, let me shake the entire foundation of what you thought the story was going to be.
shaking the table.
I mean, at that point, I felt like the table was flipped by the
Oh
end of
my
chapter
god.
6.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, I need a moment to mentally, um, process this. From
I
what I've seen
mean,
so far, I'm
I was
shook.
in the airport, and you know how sometimes when you're reading a book and it gets to a point where you're like, wait, what? So like normally you want to kind of just like kind of throw your book to the side and be like, I need a break.
Yes.
I was in the airport. And so like I got to this point and I audibly was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh shit, I'm in public. I'm in public. Wait. I was like, oh,
Look,
like I'm looking at the people around me like, I'm so sorry. I'm reading a book.
that is hilarious.
And so I
That is
ended up,
actually hysterical.
this guy across from me was like, well, what are you reading? So
Right?
I
You
ended
may
up
have sold a
talking to
copy
this
right there.
guy, like, oh, I'm reading this book. It's the second book in the series. Like, this is the first book. You should read it.
That is so funny.
I was
That
like,
is so
well, um,
all I have to say is I know I love mess, but Freya having a secret love child by Father Time has to go.
you
This
said
is
a secret
something
love child with Father Time.
this is just not something I saw in
Keep
the
in mind, though, this makes Brandy half goddess, half time being.
this is a lot. This is a lot. So really, Brandy has more power than Freya.
Ooh, look at you catching on.
I'm quick with it. I'm like, that's why you abdicated the throne, bitch. You know?
Oh, wait. Can I just say one more part? Because I need to say a prediction, but I can't say this prediction without this one part. I promise I will not spoil any more of the reveal
Oh Lord.
because you have a lot more of the reveal to get through. I literally just started the reveal. You have a lot more to get through.
Oh, this is very exciting.
So Freya gets pissed off and like kind of leaves the God realm.
Yeah.
And it's just Brandy and a scene. And he's basically like, hey, since you're the goddess of the realm now, that previous contract, because remember in the last book, they made a deal where it was like
Oh
whoever
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
destroy each other's mortal vessels,
Yes, I remember.
that deal. Well,
Yeah.
apparently that's no longer valid because Freya is no longer the goddess of the realm. Brandy is.
Mm.
So he's like, I want to make a new deal with you.
Mm.
And she's like, what the fuck kind of deal is this? Basically, his terms are, I want you to destroy the queendom.
Oh God, not this queendom bullshit.
So Okay, so here's my prediction, and I wrote it down in my reading planner. I wrote it in a completely different color so I can make sure that I say this. So the deal was a part of the deal. I'm not even going to tell you the whole deal, so you can read the rest of it. The part of the deal that she has to fulfill is she has to destroy the queendom. And I think that she thinks destroying the queendom is destroying the queen that is currently in place. However, I think destroying the queendom based on Asin's whole thing, I think it's going to be involving killing Sarah as well, as Sarah is actually the true queen of the queendom.
That's so interesting because I saw it as more as like tearing down the current queendom and putting Sarah in its place.
I think he wants to get rid of the queendom in its entirety.
Wow. Because I feel like Sarah can't just die. You know, I put up with this bitch for a long time.
I
And if
don't
she
see
just
her
dies,
dying
I'm good.
anytime soon. I feel like this is going to be one of like the last, like one of the last major points of the book.
Her
But I
life has
also
to mean
think
something. She dies, there needs to be a damn good reason she dies
if
because
this does happen, I don't think Brandy is actually going to kill her. I think in a weird way, Brandy still has some weird loyalty to Brandy in the sense of protection. Or into
loyalty to
Sarah
Sarah.
in a sense of protection. So I don't think Brandy's going to actually go forward with it, which is going to cause an entirely different thing, which makes me wonder, are we getting a third book? Because if this is correct and I don't have a third book,
Well,
I
I
will
would
run.
hope that we're getting a third book. Like the way this plot line is unfolding, this can't be it. And it says to be continued on page 415.
First of all, I'm so mad that you skipped all the way to the
I needed to know. It's very important
You
that I
were
find
like,
out immediately.
I'm not investing until I know that there's more.
Well, I'm just like, look, with everything that's unfolding in the world building, ain't no way that this is the last book. So I had to skip to that last page. It says to be
The
continued.
third book does come out this year, but that's my prediction. And I just wanted to get it on video because I was like, first of all, if my prediction is right, that's going to be one hell of a third book.
I
Because
know.
I don't know how many more reveals we have for this book, but I'm shook enough because I happened to read, like, I let the guy read the back of this book.
The guy at the airport.
Yeah. He better have
This is
bought the
so
book. I
funny.
should have made him buy it with me sitting there.
I hope he did too because he needs to.
Yeah. I'm just like,
I almost wish I could go back in time and be like, get the audiobook.
Listen, oh my gosh, you know what? I did not tell him that the audiobook slaps.
So good. It's okay. It's
I
okay.
was just I was like enjoying the relief that I had because I needed a break from the book because
That's so funny.
I read chapter 5 and chapter 6 all the way through. Because the end of chapter 5, you're like, oh my God, wait, what? And then you start reading the first couple sentences of chapter 6, you're like, wait. And yeah, my brain was like, so everything that I loved in the first book was a lie.
Right? Okay,
I
that's enough
feel
out of you.
cheated.
That's enough from you.
I'm just saying, like, I personally feel cheated, so I can imagine that Brandy feels worse.
Damn. Okay, so I will be reading right after we wrap this up, which we will wrap up right now while Brittany's internet connection is staying strong. But I
Right?
will just give a quick recap so that we are all on the same page. So we will be having our next set of reading sprints this upcoming Tuesday. So this upcoming Tuesday, we'll be having our next set of reading sprints at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that will be on Tuesday, February 13th. Please join us as we continue. We will be sprinting for much longer this time. So sorry for the short sprint. We were just kind of trying it out, seeing how it goes. And the feedback was just that, it was just a little too short. So we're going to do longer sprints so people can really settle in and get a lot of reading done. And then our book discussion will follow on Thursday, February 15th, also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be discussing chapters 7 through 11.
Yeah.
And I will probably be done with the book by then.
So also, hopefully, because Troy's goal is to finish book 1 this weekend. So hopefully we can get her in, because I need her. What I want to hear is the fact that she's going straight from book 1 to book 2.
Which is gonna be a wild ride.
Right. So I want to hear how she felt at the end of book 1. And then I
Right?
want to hear how fast it crashes for book 2.
Oh, he's gonna be in shambles. I'm so
I
excited.
know, because we had time to spare between, and she doesn't.
Oh, she
Yeah,
doesn't
I
at
look
all.
forward to this. Like, I can't wait to read the group chat.
It's gonna be incredible. It's
I
gonna
can't
be
wait to read the
very
group chat after you finish these 2 chapters.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. So
Oh,
I'm
Chelsea also has a Discord server where people can talk about the books.
Oh, that's insane. Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. If anybody is reading with us, you can join the server.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's great, especially because, like, when you don't have people that are reading, people you know in your life that are reading that book and you just want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So
I like that. Yeah. I'm updating our story graph today to show that we technically are on chapter 7.
nice.
So I'm excited. I like being able to talk about the books as I read them, because sometimes, like, books like this, I just kind of want to scream into the void, but there's nobody to scream into the void with.
I know.
So I'm excited. I'm like, yes, okay. Because as soon as I finished reading the chapters for this time, I was like, I'm so ready to talk about this.
I know that's right.
Don't worry. I can't wait to hear your initial oh my God. And then I can't wait for us to talk about more next week.
Yes.
Also, I just want to state, yes, I still don't like Sarah, still won't have smoke for Sarah, but I actually kind of love Noble.
Oh, I love Noble. I've always loved Noble. I've never
I
had an
love
issue.
Noble. Like, I want to give him a hug all the time.
Yeah, Noble comes off very likable. I mean, I like him a lot.
Also, because of chapter 6, I want to give him a hug even more. So,
oh, geez.
Yeah. And also, obviously, we're Jack stans on this account as well.
Oh, 100%.
I'm still alone. What? Are you still looking? Well, you know what? Troy Nicole has not finished book 1. So we'll ask her thoughts about Noble when she finishes, and then maybe she'll be ready to join the discussion next week. And maybe you might have a fellow Noble hater, but I'm sorry, I can't hate Noble. I can't.
Why are we hating on Noble?
But yeah, before we end this, I do want to know, why do you not like Noble? Why does he make your blood boil? I am curious.
He's very unapologetic about it.
I kind of love him for that too. Also, if you're here and you have never answered the question, which domain would you live in? You also need to answer that question while we're in the chat, while we're waiting for Ash's answer. Because I am curious. Noble is just one of those characters where it's like, yeah, he's kind of a fuckboy, but
I would want to be a Galaxier.
Okay, ma'am. That's not existing in the realm.
I'm sorry.
That's a Sagittarius, bro. Like, I said realm. You said universe.
I was like, ooh, they got a good job.
Not they got good jobs. I'm so dead. It's like, oh God, I just can't.
It's hard because I feel like I would want to have access to them all. You know?
I mean, you could live in one and still have access to the other ones, technically.
That's very true.
Yeah, I'm obviously a Rothschild, so that's where I'll be. I'm trying to think where you would be.
I don't know.
Actually, I feel like Asari gives Sagittarius behavior sometimes. By the way, he was constantly trolling Roth and shit.
That's so true.
So,
uh-oh.
Maybe
Oh
that is you.
no.
Oh no!
Okay, we gotta end. We gotta end this right here.
I'm
We are
gonna go back
done.
to reading now.
My world has been rocked from within, and I can't take anymore. Okay,
Oh
I
no. If you
don't.
guys are
I
wondering,
have.
if you didn't see the comment, if you're
Mm-mm,
just listening,
mm-mm,
Ash said she could not
mm-mm,
reveal why
mm-mm.
Noble makes her blood boil without spoilers.
I'm
And
at capacity.
so
I am at
I'm so
capacity.
sad. I don't
Nope.
need any more reveals to make me dislike more people.
Look, we gotta go. We gonna
Thank y'all for coming
reconvene.
to this discussion. Come back on Tuesday so we can read together.
Yes. Yes. Please come back on Tuesday so that we can all be in shock on one
Oh my
accord,
gosh.
and then
I'm
we
going to
will
go in my
discuss
reading chair and read.
our trauma together.
Let's enjoy our trauma together as a group. All right. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you
See y'all on
so much.
Tuesday.
See y'all Tuesday night.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Have a great night, everybody.
Damn it. What's going to happen?